Hi, good morning, Folly.
Welcome to the second ever Waymo ride-along video on YouTube in Austin, Texas. As you just saw in that brief montage, JJ Rex and I flew out to Austin to be the first two to get footage of Waymo out here. He beat me to it for the first upload, but in that time I've been able to do some super cool things with the Waymo visualization. So do let me know what you think of the visualization at the bottom of the screen. A big thank you to Joel for letting me use his screen cam. And with that out of the way, let's get into the driving. I do have some super difficult spots to put the car into, but for this video, the focus is more on some general observations of how the Waymo driver seems to be a little different here in Austin. And because there's two of us in the car, I'm going to sprinkle in some real-time discussions and reactions alongside my usual voiceover. First up, there seems to be a lot of these pedestrian crossings in this part of Austin. The lane will go a little to the right, and then there will also be poles to the right that the Waymo seems to get quite close to as it returns back to the left. Let's take a look. Pretty close, but not really anything to complain about. Before we move on though, let's take a quick look at this red light runner. Unfortunately, a little too far away for the Waymo driver to react to, but we didn't see any twitchiness, or really any reaction at all, because there wasn't really any needed. Let's take a look at what happened here with this bump.
Yeah. That was quite the bump. I wonder if that one was mapped. Didn't feel like it, yeah. Although if you pay extra special attention to the eye pace on the visual, it does actually go with the bumps of the road. Oh, it does? Yeah. So, I even wonder if how much of that is mapped, but it just didn't slow down for it or anything like that. Yeah.
And honestly, this seems to be a bit of a theme with Waymo here in Austin. The small details just don't seem to be smoothed out yet, like they are in other cities that we're used to. Take a listen to what I had to say next.
It seems a lot smoother now in the day than last night. It was quite jerky last night.
That's good.
It wasn't sure. It's like it knew the area, but it wasn't sure where stuff was.
And this reasoning might actually be a part of this, but keep watching, as what you're about to see will demonstrate that it could be something else entirely. Another reason I thought it might not be too polished yet is the random braking we seem to be getting. Take a look.
What was that about?
Just getting a little too sketchy with the people.
And yes, if we rewind and take another look, this is something Waymo usually does for pedestrian safety. There could have been a person hiding behind that car on the left. But we don't usually see braking that harsh, it's usually nice and slow and steady. This next part of the video gives us another example.
Whoa. Okay.
In this case, there was a pedestrian there.
No, there was definitely first brake, second brake, and then yield. So how much of that was the traffic, how much of that was the pedestrian, anything like that.
Joel's right, whether it was because there could have been someone hidden behind the car, or whether it was the mapped crosswalk and it was anticipating it, we can't say for sure. But what we can say is, caution around potential pedestrians has been ramped up to the max here in Austin. The car is always slowing for these kinds of situations. A super interesting observation here. Hopefully Waymo can find a nice balance like it has in other cities. And coming up now, let's take a look at this tight squeeze.
Sticking right to the edge of the lane there. The Waymo.
It's moved over a little bit.
What Kevin would call a nudge.
Yeah. It's almost like it didn't expect to come to a stop there this time. It's pretty far back, but...
Yeah.
What doesn't quite come across on video is the strange braking we're seeing and feeling. It came to quite an abrupt stop here. Up next, let's hear Joel's observations about the Waymo driver's patience here in Austin.
One thing I noticed yesterday is that they amped up the amount of times it will do a lane change to just get around stopped traffic or slow people.
Right.
Like, that never used to be a thing. I don't know when that changed, but it was definitely noticeable yesterday. I was like, oh, wow. Huh.
Super interesting. We'll see some examples of this at some point in my Austin videos, so be sure to get subscribed and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future videos. Coming up now, let's see how Waymo reacts to this pedestrian in the median. And as you can see, we give them a lot of room and then proceed forward to make our turn. Nicely done, if not a little overly cautious. You're probably getting bored of these caution around pedestrian clips, but this one is kind of crazy. The people are just walking along the sidewalk, not even facing in our direction, and we've slowed quite abruptly for them. Very, very cautious, and a little unnecessary if you ask me. One of the challenging parts of getting a driverless car to work in a new city is how it chooses to plan its route. Let's hear what Joel has to say about this.
And it still seems to have ramped up the detours for some left turns. Like it goes into a neighborhood and then crosses over instead of turning left out somewhere. I saw that a couple of times.
Do you reckon it saves time?
Yeah. I think it's just afraid of the turn. Yeah.
So it seems it's avoiding certain turns it's not so sure about? Interesting. And after one quite harsh slow for another person on the sidewalk, we're here at our first and last stop for this video. Let's see how it does in this kinda busy parking area.
Oh yeah.
Oh, come on.
Oh, it didn't go down there. Oh, it avoided your plan. Yeah, it went the wrong way.
Come on.
Nice.
Trip updated.
They decided against us, but
Yeah. Unfortunate.
we'll come back to it. Now we've waited nicely for that reversing truck, let's do a challenging unprotected left to end off the video.
Of course. But, oh yeah, we do one for full left there. Across the median. Oh wow.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Alright, it's grading time. How was our first ride in Austin? It's a B- from me today. The driving was extremely safe, but so safe in fact, that it made it kind of uncomfortable as a passenger, with all the harsh and kind of unnecessary braking. We don't usually see this in LA, or if we do, it's significantly smoother. Other than that though, I have no real complaints. What do you guys think? Was Waymo overly cautious, or just playing it safe? I'd love to hear what you have to say in the comments. And before we finish off, I just want to give another huge shout out for JJ Ricks for joining me on this ride and on the Austin trip in general. I'll have his first Austin video linked in the top right now. As always, the full unedited version of this video will be available in the description if you want to check it out. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, Autonomy Central signing off.